Welcome to Live with the Paper Pixie, episode 327. I'm Julie DiMatteo, the Paper Pixie, coming to you live from Alpharetta, Georgia. Today is Wednesday, April 24th, 2024, and it is 72 degrees here in Atlanta. Excuse me, got a tickle in the throat. I've got two great projects for you today. We're going to be using some sneak peek products from the upcoming 2024 to 2025 annual catalog using the Unbounded Beauty Suite. I've got a fun fold card for you, which I'll show you when I flip the camera. It'll just be easier than me trying to do this in the camera. And then I've got a treat box for you holding a new kind of chocolate that I have not made a box for before. So that's what we're making tonight. If you're watching us live, say hello and where you're watching from. If you want to join us in the chat, you just need to be logged into your YouTube account or your Google account, kind of the same thing there. Just a couple of ground rules for the chat. Keep it positive, have fun, and meet somebody new. And I think I said if you're watching us live, let us know where you're watching from. And hello to those of you who are on replay. If you're new here or this is your first time catching me live, let us know in the chat. My amazing audience will give you a big warm welcome. They're awesome like that. And if you notice a couple of those in the chat that have a little magic wand next to their name, those are my Pixie patrons who are channel members here. You can join the channel. There's a link in the video description. Or if you see the join button next to the subscribe button, you can click there and see what the perks are that come with being a Pixie patron to the channel. I have a lot of things to share with you tonight, so I'm going to get through a few of those, then I'll switch gears, do the projects from start to finish, and then I will answer your questions live tonight. So if you do have a question for me, be sure to put a Q in front of that question, otherwise it's just a comment, and do save the queue for questions. So I'll stay on live and answer all of those that come in the live chat. Brian's watching your chat as well in case any of you forget to use the queue. And what do I have next? When you shop with me, you earn Pixie perks on orders of $25 or more. All you need to do is use my magic shopping link, thepaperpixie.com/shop. That will auto-magically take you to the Stampin' Up! Online store, shopping with me with my current host code to your order, so you'll earn Pixie perks. And if your order is $150 or more, make sure you take that host code off because you're going to earn Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up! And you'll also earn Pixie perks from me as well. All right, let me show you the projects just to tease you a little bit, and then we'll talk about a few things that are coming up here. So here is our fun fold here. This project was inspired by a reel that I saw by M. Palmer Crafts, but it is just a really easy fun fold. I've got designer series paper as the card base and just a quick and easy fold there. What would we call that? Is that like a, I don't even know what to call this fun fold, but I love that it's hiding the happy birthday sentiment. And then I just added this little banner end here. That's from Stylish Shapes, and that's just to kind of keep the card closed. You can do a couple other things. You could wrap it with ribbon if you wanted to, but it's just a really fun, quick and easy fun fold. And then I've got a box. This style will look familiar to you, but this one is holding two, and I'm going to laugh when I say this because I think it's the most adorable name, Tony's Chocolonely chocolates. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these or had these. Let me go grab the package really quick. But this caught my eye at my local Target, and these are, let's see, Ending Exploitation in Cocoa Together, Tony's Chocolonely, Tony's Open Chain. But it's got some fun, cute things on the packaging, so I found these at my local Target, and I created a box to hold two of them. So Brian and I have taste tested them, so have the children, and they love the chocolate. So Brian and Lily and Nolan approved, and Julie approved as well. So, all right, we're gonna come back to those projects in just a moment. I got all kinds of printouts to share with you. First, I've got a couple of upcoming deadlines. So before I say anything else, and I'll repeat this a few times, we will not be live next Wednesday. That is Wednesday, May 1st. We will not have a Paper Pixie live because Brian and I will be in Mexico. So no live next week. We will be back again on Wednesday, May 8th for episode 328. Now, product shares and In Color Club. Those are currently open for sign up, but I am closing sign up, no exceptions, on Sunday. I've got to have the final list ready to go Sunday before we leave for Mexico, just in case while we're out of the country I have some trouble with internet connection, all of that good stuff. I will be placing my product share and In Color Club orders like as soon as the catalog goes live on May 1st. So I do have a favor for you. Any of you who have already signed up for product shares, with the exception of one at the very last minute, all of you have been sent your invoice. So if you didn't see your invoice in your inbox, check your spam folder. And if you still don't see it there, shoot me an email at support@thepaperpixie.com. But I've got 3 options for the product shares. A paper share, which includes 16 papers and it's 180 sheets of 6x6. A ribbon share that has approximately 20 yards of ribbon, or you can do both, which also comes with your free gift choice. So again, I'm accepting sign up through April 28th. Payment is due by April 30th. And I don't want to be chasing people while I'm in Mexico. So I will probably be making phone calls on April 28th for anybody who hasn't paid yet, because I don't want you to miss out. But I will start canceling invoices if I haven't received your payment by April 30th, so I can be ready to go. So that's product shares. We've also got In Color Club. This is a great way to get fun Happy Mail each month for 5 months. Our 5 new In Colors: Pretty in Pink, Peach Pie, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and Petunia Pop. Each month you'll get all the products for one of the 5 colors. It'll be a surprise each month, but you'll get a full pack of cardstock, the ink pad, the ink refill, Stampin' Blends, Stampin' Write marker, the bordered ribbon, a full roll of that, the glimmer paper cut down to 6x6 pieces, the 6x6 designer series paper. By the end, you'll have a full pack, a hand-stamped card featuring the In Color of the month that I make myself personally, and then you get a surprise free gift each month. So don't worry if you see some additional In Color products that are not listed here. Most likely they're going to show up as a free gift during one of the months. It's about an $8 average value each month for the free gift. So again, deadline is April 28th. That's the scoop there. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. The links for both product shares and In Color Club are down in the video description. All right. Stampin' Blends labels. If you've purchased these from me before, you were sent an email on March 29th with just an email letting you know they've been updated. Your download link from your original purchase will always take you to the most recent version of my Stampin' Blends labels. The download includes all current, upcoming, and retired colors of the Stampin' Blends, and it's an $8 digital download. That link is also in the description. We've got an amazing starter kit special coming up May 1st through May 31st. This is a great way to get your hands on In Color products. So if you're not wanting to jump into In Color Club, this is another great way to get free products. It's an $82 value starting May 1st. With the $99 starter kit, you get to select up to $125 in product of your choice, plus $82 additional dollars in free products. You get the In Color ink pad bundle, the assortment of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, a full pack of the designer series paper, and a full set of the Stampin' Write markers. So if you're trying to decide between the two, In Color Club obviously includes a lot more products, In Color products. This is also a great option if you've been thinking about joining the Stampin' Up family. So that starts May 1st. I love this. This is a fantastic starter kit special. And what else do I have? That's all I have as far as business. So all the links for all of these things, look down in the video description, including a link to tonight's project sheet for the 3D project, okay? Now the featured supplies are a little bit skimpy because I can't load up the upcoming sneak peek products yet because they're not loaded up in my Stampin' blog. So I'll update this eventually, but the download will give you the measurements, the template for reference, and a QR code back to the video, okay? And don't mind my silly printer line there. All right, let me take a breath. Again, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to pop those in the chat with a Q, or you can shoot me an email at support@thepaperpixie.com. So we're going to start with a 3D project. Let me get my pieces and parts together. All right, so for this project, we are using the brand new in color Petunia Pop, which is my favorite of the 5 colors. And this piece of cardstock measures 6.5 inches by 7. So 6.5 by 7. I'm gonna bring in my Simply Scored here. And along the 7-inch side or the long side, we're gonna go ahead and score this at 1 inch and 2 inches. From each side. So 1 and 2, then I'm gonna rotate 180 and score at 1 and 2 again. Then I'm gonna turn it to the 6.5 inch side and we're gonna score this at 1 and 2 3/4. Again from each side. So 1 and 2 3/4, rotate 180, 1, 2 3/4. Okay. And for those of you watching on replay, after the live stream, I will pop back to this video and put in chapters for you so you can jump around the video. I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish on all the score lines. I've been spending this week trying to get ready for Mexico, and woo, it's hard to go on vacation without your kids, isn't it? Why am I grabbing the take your pick tool? Hold on, let me get the template for reference here. I got too many pieces of paper. There we go. All right, so there's our template, and I'm actually going to turn it sideways here. So I'm turning my cardstock to the 6.5 inch side, and it doesn't matter which side, they're both the same because we repeated the measurements the same on each side. So this is technically in portrait, so 6.5 along the top, 7 along the side. And I'm gonna come in from the right, I'm gonna cut up the first 3 vertical score lines, and I'm gonna stop at the second horizontal score line. And for this, I'm just cutting right down the middle of the score line. So again, just stop at that second horizontal score line. And then I'm gonna turn it 1/4 of a turn, like this way. And I'm gonna come in 2 score lines from the right, and I'm gonna cut up 2 score lines so to the second horizontal score line. Now here, I'm gonna cut just inside of the score line so that when I remove these 4 sections in the corner, I've left the score line on the piece of paper there. See that? Okay, so that we've got these 2, or these 3 sections are kind of separated from each other. I'm gonna fold this middle section just out of the way. And we're gonna create these 2 tabs, but I don't want any of the cardstock to overlap, so I'm just gonna come in about 1/8 of an inch from the score line there and just trim away this section and then about 1/8 of an inch into the next section. So you've got a piece that you're kind of cutting off that looks like that. We're gonna do that to both tabs. And if you were doing this with designer series paper or a lighter weight paper, you wouldn't have to cut it away. It'd be okay if those overlap. But usually with cardstock, I try to make sure that those tabs don't overlap each other when they fold into the box, like so, okay? So now we've got those tabs isolated. I'm just gonna come in and miter cut those tabs. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is come and miter cut this little outside section here. And that's just so that that folds into the box and those edges don't get in our way. Give it a little haircut there. All right, so now that side looks like the template. So now I'm gonna turn it to this side. Again, this is our 6.5 inch side. Now I'm coming in from the left, cutting up the first 3 vertical score lines, stopping at that second horizontal score line. We're repeating the same thing just on the opposite side here. And again, for these, I'm just cutting right down the middle of that score line. I'm going to turn it a quarter of a turn. We're going to remove these 4 sections here, but again, I'm going to come just inside the score line, so we're basically just cutting that score line away. Leaving the score line onto the piece that we're discarding. Okay, so again, same thing over here. Because I'm right-handed, I'm going to turn it up this way. I'm going to fold that big section out of the way, and again, coming in about 1/8 of an inch into the second square here to shorten our tabs just a little bit, like so. Okay, so again, these 2 pieces have about 1/8 of an inch left on them that we cut away, or an extra 1/8 of an inch, I should say. And then I'm going to isolate the tabs and miter cut. Pieces out of here. All right. Oh, and then we're also going to miter cut right on this little section here, or this outside section, like so. All right, so this mostly looks like our template here, but we're going to round some corners, and I'm also going to add a little finger notch here. Both of those are indicated here on the template, but you'll be able to see the template right on the project sheet. So I've got a little 1/2 of an inch circle punch. I'm going to come in, and so the side here that's closest to the tabs is where we're going to put that little finger notch. And this is just so the recipient can get their thumb in there and get the box opened. And I'm going, I don't know, about 1/3 of the way into that circle punch to punch. I'm making some confetti here. And then I've got a corner rounder, and we're going to go ahead and round the opposite corners. This makes it easy for this to tuck into the box, like so. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and adhere some designer series paper. I've got 2 pieces here. This is that beautiful Unbounded Beauty, and I've got basic white. It would help if I had my measurements. Some of them I have memorized, others I do not. All right, so the basic white layer, this piece measures 1 5/8 by 2 7/8. And the designer series paper layer is 1 1/2 by 2 3/4. And if it's a directional pattern like this one, I've cut it in landscape. So the top is the longer edge, okay? So the way this box is gonna go together is the lid is gonna tuck in like so. So I wanna layer this so that the rounded edge is facing me, so that I know where to put our directionally patterned paper, like so. I love that basic white behind the designer series paper. It really makes it pop, and these colors are delightful. I love the new in colors so much. Hopefully I'm not teasing you all too much with a little sneak peek a week ahead of time. The new annual catalog launches at midnight Mountain Time on Wednesday, May 1st. So you just have a little less than a week, since we're in the evening of Wednesday, for that catalog to launch. All right, just gonna smooth out the glue there. I love liquid glue, but go ahead and use your adhesive of choice. I saved it. No glue. Now you're going to have a little bit of a tighter fit on the right and the left, because if you remember, we cut away those score lines, and that's okay. That doesn't bother me. If you wanted to, you could shave off a little bit from the basic white and the designer series paper, but it's just a little bit of a difference there. Okay. Actually, I don't know why I put it's such a habit of mine to put the glue lid back on, and I'm about to use it again. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start on one tab at a time, but essentially I'm gonna put liquid glue on the tab and I'm gonna line up this score line right here with this cut edge. And as I do that, that's gonna start to form the first of our 4 box corners. So let's go ahead and just gonna take my time doing one tab at a time. And again, score line, cut edge to form that box corner. Liquid glue is your friend here because you can, you got a little bit of wiggle room to get that lined up right there in the corner. And then I'm just pressing on the inside with my thumb on the outside and my index finger on the inside for that adhesive to adhere. And then I'll just start working my way around to the other tabs. Same method, score line to cut edge to create that corner. And then you'll see on the inside here, because we trimmed away a little bit of that tab, that little 1/8 of an inch, those tabs now are not overlapping, okay? Tricks of the trade there. Got our third tab here. And then our final tab, which you kind of have to finagle in there just a little bit. There we go. Just get that all lined up. I mean, are these colors not gorgeous together? I love them so much. There's a little bit of pretty in pink in that designer series paper pattern too. We'll bring that in a moment when we decorate the box. All right, so now you could just leave these as tabs if you wanted to, because this will tuck in and close just fine. So this is optional, this piece, or this part. I actually like to fold those tabs into the box to kind of have a reinforced edge here. So you've got options there, totally up to you, personal preference, but I'm gonna go ahead and put liquid glue on the back side of this tab, and I'm gonna fold that into the box. And that gives me that stiffer edge, and I feel like it just takes the box up a notch. So I'm kind of holding that in place, and then I'm gonna come in with my bone folder and just press that down, smooth over the edge, because what's happening here is this edge is folding over not only itself, right, but also those 2 tabs in there. So I do like to just use my bone folder to crease that little edge. And then you've got that really nice sturdy edge there, okay? So then, I love when you have options too, boxes, because everybody's kind of got different preferences, right? So holding that in there and then come in and burnish. Give that a nice crisp folded edge. And that is the basics of our box. That will tuck in, and you've got the reinforced edge. And this box itself will hold a lot of different things because it's a pretty decent size. So it's 1 inch deep, 1 3/4 of an inch. Well, technically, if I'm looking at it this way, it's 1 3/4 by 3 by 1. Okay, so you could fit all kinds of stuff in here, but I found this chocolate and I loved it. So Tony's Chocolonely, if you weren't here at the beginning, and the chocolate is really good. I think our favorite one, oh, we haven't tried it yet, we're saving it. Dark milk chocolate pretzel toffee. Brian and I already told the kids they can't have the purple one. But the other one we tried, or at least I tried, was the milk chocolate caramel sea salt, and it was so good. All right, so I'm gonna pick 2. It's just fun packaging. So again, I found it at my local Target, but 2 of these will fit in here, just like so. You got a little bit of wiggle room. Some of these wrappers are a little bit different in size, but the 1 3/4 by 3 by 1 should be a perfect fit for 2 of those. These are about 1/2 of an inch in depth, so 2 of them is about 1 inch. Those fit in there as just a fun little chocolate treat. So let's go ahead and decorate. And let me see if I can remember what I did. I'm gonna put my box up here. All right, so I haven't even put my new dies on my magnet cards yet, but this is the Unbounded Love bundle. This is, whose stamp set is this? Debbie Mochek. and she's one of our Million Sales Achievers. This is a fantastic stamp set with great sentiments. And then paired with it is this amazing set of dies, which, to be honest, the dies totally sold me on this bundle, but the sentiments in here they just take it up a notch. So got a couple of dies that we're using in tonight's projects, but those are a couple that work well together. We've got this circle with a little bit of stitching detail on it. There's 2 of those in the set. We've got these 2 kind of banner pieces that do work well together. This little fun element here could be turned into like bow loops if you fold it in half. There's just a lot of really great dies in here, especially dies for all of these amazing sentiments. So if you don't already have Unbounded Love, or really the Unbounded Beauty Suite on your wish list, I highly recommend it. So let me make sure I've got, this is the one I think I'm gonna need to use. But I've already die cut this piece from Pretty in Pink. So that was that little banner piece, and we're gonna go ahead and glue that right to the center there. So I'm gonna do that now before I lose it. Before I lose the die. Not that I'm going to lose it, but before I lose the die cut piece. Did we not just use the glue bottle and now it's clogging up on me? It clogged up on me earlier today and I had a big clumpy gluey mess. Give me 1 second. I must have left it open. Or the glue bottle's like, hey, you're live, let's mess with you. Oh, funny. Okay, hold on. Little centrifugal force before I get a big old blob. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Just getting a piece of grid paper here to get that clog out. Man, it's really in there. I'm like at the end, I think. I'm about to switch to a new glue bottle. Oh, there we go. See that big giant glob that just, uh-oh. I just lost my monitor. I just lost my monitor when you did that. All right, here we go. We're back. Got a big old clump out. All right. We're just gonna center that. It's just a little element there. Okay. And then I've got a piece of scrap basic white. Put that lid on there, and we're gonna stamp in Petunia Pop. Now, my Petunia Pop ink pad is extra juicy because it's brand new. So one of the things that I recommend doing is taking something like the back of a credit card or a plastic spoon, or this is one of the palette knives that can be used with the embossing paste. And I'm just gonna press that ink. I don't know if you're able to see how that got just a little bit lighter. I'm pressing the ink into the ink pad just so that all that juicy ink isn't at the very top for for a detailed sentiment. I'll show you in my card sample let's see, you're a true blessing, that's what I'm doing. And my card sample, my happy birthday sentiment was a little bit juicy. So we'll do that. Again, that's Petunia Pop that I'm using. There's that sentiment there, okay? All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and die cut this. I already have Post-it tape on here from my sample. Go. Bringing in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Yeah, I should have brought out one of my sewing pins. Good idea, Cindy. There we go. Oh man, good sound effects there. All right, so there we've got our circular sentiment with just a little bit of stitching detail, which I love. Put my die back in the bowl before I lose it. And then I've got some linen thread here, and we're gonna do a little bit of a faux bow. This is all kinky and curly here, so I'm gonna just smooth it out with my thumb and bone folder. There we go. Gonna have a mini glue dot ready to go at the end of my glue dot roll here. And we're just gonna do loop-de-loops. Now this time I'm crisscrossing those loops in the center to make it really look like a bow with the tails coming down to the bottom. So I'll show you in just a moment when I get that stuck, the center there stuck to the glue dot. And this tail, or this loop is a little, there we go. Just kind of evening out those loops there. So I've crisscrossed, but both tails are coming down on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim this one just a little bit. And then with my take your pick tool, I'm gonna pick up that faux bow there, pop it on our little banner. It's a little bit towards the top there. And I'm gonna grab dimensionals. I'm gonna go as close to that on either side of that bow. Again, that's linen thread if I didn't mention that. And then we're gonna pop our circle sentiment right over the top. Centering it top to bottom, left to right. And of course, what do we need but a little piece of bling. So tiny, and then boop. And there we have, I'm calling it because it's just way too fun to say, Tony's Chocolonely Treat Box. But again, you guys will find so many fun things to fit inside. This one was sized to fit 2 of Tony's Chocolonely chocolates. I think probably some mini Ghirardelli squares would fit in there as well. But it's just a really sweet little treat box. And you could fill it with all kinds of things, even maybe some type of gift or jewelry or something if you're not keen to giving candy or treats. But who wouldn't love receiving a little treat in a beautiful gift box, especially with the beautiful Unbounded Beauty products from the Unbounded Beauty suite. So that is project number 1. Let me go ahead and transition to the card, the fun fold card, okay? Is it me or did you just lose your light? I don't think that I lost my light. Everything looks good. Okay. All right. Project number 2. I've got some pieces die cut already, but we're going to start with a piece of designer series paper, and this piece measures 5.5 by 8.5. And if you've got a directional pattern, it's in landscape. So the top edge is the longer side, okay? We're gonna go, well, actually I've already scored it. I've scored it in half down the middle along the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. I'll go ahead and fold that and burnish. Now you can, for this fun fold, you can also just use cardstock for it as well, but I loved the look of designer series paper because you get to see both sides of this beautiful paper, okay? Let me put that off to the side. Then I've got a piece of basic white, and this piece measures 5 1/4 by 8. Okay, so 5 1/4 by 8. And we're gonna do a little bit of scoring on this one. So with the long side, the 8-inch side at the top, I'm gonna score at 4 inches on one side. I'm just gonna flip it and score at 6. Okay, because we're gonna actually fold that like an accordion. So we've scored on one side at 4 inches, I flipped it, and then I scored at 6, okay? I'm gonna turn the valley score line, that one in the middle, into a mountain fold and burnish. Then this one's gonna go back the opposite way. So I'm basically turning that valley into a mountain, like so. So we've got a piece that looks like this that's gonna glue to the inside of our fun fold card. Now, the next thing I wanna do is actually I'm gonna add a strip of designer series paper because I did it after I added the sentiment on the sample and it was just a little too finicky. So that piece, if I can find it, . sprouted legs and walked away. It's right here. So this piece measures 5 inches by 1 3/4. And I'm gonna double check that because I'm doing that from memory. Yep, 5 by 1 3/4. And that is in portrait. If you had a directional pattern, that would mean that the top is shorter than the side. So liquid glue, and we're gonna place that one right here in the middle. Okay, so it's gonna be kind of hidden and a little bit of a surprise when the recipient opens that. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put this insert off to the side for a bit. We're gonna focus on the card front here, and I'm gonna pull in this die from the Unbounded Love dies, and we're gonna go ahead and cut a little frame here. Now, I wanted to point out with this scalloped circle, or scalloped oval, that the ovals are not exactly the same top to bottom. So I'm not sure if you can tell, but we've got two, if you're looking at the kind of the center point, we have a scallop that's at the center at the top, but in between scallops that's at the center on the bottom. So keep that in mind when you go to stamp this piece, because you want to make sure you're not stamping it upside down, because we're going to go ahead and die cut this, and I'm going to cut it the same way where I've got the scallop at the top. But before you stamp the sentiment on here, and I'll bring it up again when we get to that point, you want to make sure that you're stamping with this in the right direction so that it fits perfectly in our window. So I'm going to just grab 2 pieces of Post-it tape here, my runaway Post-it tape holder, and I'm just eyeballing this. I want it towards the top, but I'm also centering it left to right. And this is an oval, so we're not gonna be able to get it exact, but just get it to where it's pleasing to your eye. And I wanna make sure that I open this card, because we don't wanna cut through both the front and the back. So, my glue bottle, close you up. All right. So again, we're gonna run that through. And likely I'm just gonna run it through enough so that it cuts the front there. So kind of forwards and backwards. All right, now this piece that's left over is too beautiful to throw away. We'll have to use that on a future project. And that's so cute. It's got a little bit of stitching on it too. I love that piece, so I'm saving that. All right. Now, all right, let's double check here. I want to make sure that we've got this lined up like so. Okay, so that's the correct direction where that's lined up right there in the cutout. I'm also going to add this piece. I die cut ahead of time from Petunia Pop, and that was using this kind of scalloped inside frame. And I backed this with some of the adhesive sheets, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and separate those two, and so I don't fumble, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that with my Take Your Pick tool. I'll get it started here. Just got my nails done again today, which is always hard to do things like this. There we go. Got it going. Did I get it going? It's a really thin die cut piece here. Oh, brother. And you don't have any nails, Mr. Brian, do ya? I think I've got it. There we go. The paper was trying to separate. All right, so same thing with this scallop set. You want to line up the scallops as well. So I'm just eyeballing So I can tell here that the scallops are not lining up. So I'm going to turn it this way and I'll show you what I mean once I get this laid down here. You have a bit of kind of a reflection look where the scallops on the inside and the outside line up, okay? So I'm gonna press that down and then I'm just gonna smooth it out with my bone folder. That helps with that adhesive sheet on the back, but I love the look of those two paired together. There's a beautiful sample in the catalog that uses, I think, glimmer paper. It's stunning. All right, so again, before I stamp, lining it up to make sure I've got this is the top. So we're gonna stamp it this way and I'm gonna do the sentiment, may all your wishes come true. We're gonna do that in Summer Splash. All right. Get over the top of it there. There we go. I love that. Now that'll dry a little bit cooler. Okay, and then let's grab our inside piece. So I'm actually gonna I'm gonna glue this piece down before we stamp it, because I'm gonna actually use the window here as my guide for stamping that inside happy birthday sentiment. So this piece is gonna layer right on the inside, like so. Again, it's a 1/4 of an inch smaller than the inside piece, because again, this was 5 1/4 by 4 here up to that score line. So liquid glue. Just gonna take my time getting that lined up here. And then I do like to kind of close this so I can see that my 1/8 of an inch border all the way around looks good. There we go. And then I'll just smooth that out. All right, so here is the trick with doing that stamp set. So I'm pulling this fun fold part of it outwards so it doesn't get in my way. I'm gonna close the card and now I've got my little template for where to stamp the happy birthday sentiment. So I'm doing happy birthday in Petunia Pop, which is so fun to say. And I think this one should be good, but for good measure, I'm just gonna press the ink in. I'm only gonna need to do this for a little while until this ink pad gets some use. Just had some extra ink put on it. So happy birthday. It has kind of like an 80s vibe to it. I feel like this font, super fun. There we go. And by stamping it that way with our little window, that means when we have this piece here, it's gonna cover that sentiment and be a little bit of a surprise for the recipient. All right, so now what we're gonna do is go ahead and close our little fun fold and close our card. And this is gonna also be our little template for where to put the adhesive for our little scalloped oval. So I'm gonna go ahead and put liquid glue only on what I can see on this little folded piece. So let me bring that up closer to the camera. I'm only putting glue there. That's the only place. And that's really easy to get this lined up because now I just put that right in our little die cutout there. And it's gonna fit right inside of those scallops. Again, make sure you've got this in the right direction before you stamp and before you glue. And just continue to press that into place here. So just wanted to show you, you can get this pretty closed, but see how that's wanting to kind of pop to the inside of the card? That is why I die cut this little piece from Stylish Shapes out of Pretty in Pink. So we're gonna just go ahead and glue that to the back side of our scallop piece here. And I'm actually gonna do it just like this. We're gonna tuck it right underneath. So a little bit of liquid glue here on the right side. I'm gonna tuck that right underneath. And I'm just gonna get that to where it's straight. Like that. Just press it down. What that's gonna do is keep that closed, just that little bit of a tab, but I think it adds a little bit of interest to the front as well. Okay. All right. So the last thing is I'm gonna put a little piece of bling on here. Do another tiny one because this designer series paper is so pretty. I don't want to take away from it too much, so just a little bit of bling there, right next to the sentiment. And there we have our fun fold card. It'll open like so, and then the recipient will see their happy birthday message right on the inside. So there we go. That is tonight's fun fold for you. So we got a fun fold and a 3D project coordinating together using the Unbounded Beauty Suite from the upcoming 2024 to 2025 annual catalog that launches on Wednesday. The bundle that I'm using, the stamp set and dies, are Unbounded Love. So is this. You see a little sneak peek of the designer series paper. This has all 5 of the new in colors that are coming, so it is a beautiful suite in the new catalog. So now I'm gonna switch gears and go into Q&A. So while you are while I'm transitioning to Q&A, why don't you take a moment to click the little thumbs up button below the video. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, take a moment to do that as well. Again, a reminder, and I'll say it again at the end, we will not be live next Wednesday. We will be back for episode 328 on Wednesday, May 8th. All right, we're going to be in Mexico next week for the incentive trip. Got to add the disclaimer, less than 1% of demonstrators achieve that result, but we will be enjoying Mexico next week, and we will see you on May 8th. So let me get the cues up. I am about 20 to 30 seconds ahead of you, so if for some reason I miss your question, it's probably because I wrapped up before you were done. All right, let's see. Reverse Z-fold. That sounds good, Becky. Oh, I forgot to code. Sounds good, Becky. I like that. Reverse Z-fold. Let's see. Cindy, I did. I emailed you right away. So I did. I emailed you right back and sent you the link. Roadrunner emails have a little bit of difficulty with invoice links for some reason. So, but that link is sitting in your inbox for you. Let's see. Is it possible to add to your paper share order if you decide after your original order? Yes. So Francis, if you want to change your order, I'm not sure if you signed up for paper or ribbon, but if you wanted to upgrade it to the paper and ribbon, just let me know and I can update your sign up. And if I've already invoiced you, and we can figure it out. If you haven't paid your invoice, I can just edit your invoice, or if you have paid your invoice, I can just invoice you the additional. So just let me know. You can shoot me an email at support@thepaperpixie.com. Let's see. So the corner rounder punch, Sue, I just purchased from Amazon. It comes in a 2-pack. You get a 1-inch and like a 1-inch and a 1/2-inch quarter rounder. They're just EK Success on Amazon. I will add it to my favorites. I cannot, per policy, it will not be an affiliate link, but I can add the link to these to my favorites. It just will be a non-associates link. But they're EK Success, which is the same manufacturer that creates the Stampin' Up! Punches. I love our punches so much. Okay, so Christina, In Color Club is due Tuesday, April 30th. So it's always due on the 30th of each month. So that's Tuesday, because I will be ordering for both, the payment deadline's the same for both product shares and In Color Club. April 30th, because I am literally waking up at 1 a.m. Mexico time to place an order when the catalog goes live. So any payments that I haven't received by that point, invoices will get canceled. All right, let's see. The Post-it tape holder, I think you're asking about, Marcy. This I actually purchased from Staples years ago, and I have not been able to find, they changed the dispenser that the Post-it tape comes in, so I have not been able to find Post-it tape with this same dispenser. My guess is this probably was expensive for them and they decided to go a cheaper alternative, but I haven't been able to find this dispenser. But that just goes to show you, I have used this Post-it tape for years and I still haven't run out yet. Little goes a long way. Let's see. So the set I'm using is Unbounded Love from the Unbounded Beauty Suite. And this is the upcoming annual catalog that launches next Wednesday, May 1st. Jennifer, I do have a list. I actually updated my blog post from, I had originally done a blog post back, I think it was in 2021, and I update it each year. So if you just go to my blog and search Rainbow Order, you'll find that blog post and it's got the updated Rainbow Order. I'm just following the same Rainbow Order that Stampin' Up! Provided in the Color Coach. So I love the way they've got those colors organized. So that's the order that I go with. Ooh, there's not many questions tonight. I'm at the last question already. Wow. I will not have a template for the card Joy, but I will share the measurements to my blog on my blog when the blog posts goes. My plan is to post that blog post this coming Friday. That's typically my schedule. So I'll have the measurements for you. There's not really a template that I can give you, just measurements for it. So look for that blog post on Friday. Okay. Alrighty. I have reached the end of the questions, you guys. Whoops. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, a quick reminder, we won't be live next week. That is Wednesday, May 1st. There will be no Live with the Paper Pixie. We will return for episode 328 on Wednesday, May 8th. Couple of quick reminders again. I talked about this at the beginning of the stream. Be sure to check out, I don't think I talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but be sure to check out the Last Chance products. Those products are available while supplies last until Tuesday, April 30th. That's the last day you can purchase retiring products. Product shares and In Color Club, those signups are open until Sunday at the latest. I have invoiced everybody for product shares, with the exception, I think there was one that came in just before I was live. There may be a few more that have come in while I was live, but I invoiced everybody up to that point. So check your inbox if you haven't seen the invoice. If not in your spam folder, send me an email, support@thepaperpixie.com. Because of the timing of the trip, we are leaving first thing Monday morning. So I will be, I'm not sure what kind of access I'll have to chase down payments, so I'd prefer not to chase down payments while I'm in Mexico. So if you could try to pay by Sunday, that would help me. But April 30th is the deadline for payments for that. In Color Club invoices are coming out tomorrow for those of you that have signed up until now. And the catalog launches on Wednesday, May 1st at midnight Mountain Time. So get ready for that. I'm so excited. It's an amazing new annual catalog. As always, if you have questions, shoot me an email at support@thepaperpixie.com. We hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed couple of weeks. We'll see you again on Wednesday, May 8th. And I want to give a shout out to my amazing Pixie patrons. They're the individuals in the chat that have the little magic wand next to their names. Here is a shout out to them in the credits. So thanks again. We'll see you Wednesday, May 8th. Take good care. Bye.